Hello everyone, I am back with more Destash lots. If you have been watching my Destash videos, then you know that I have been destashing my supply collection of about 10 years. And most of these items were intended to do junk journals, and I just don't have time, so I am going to let a lot of my supplies go. So what I have today is 3 Destash lot grab bags, and they will be centered around vintage sewing notions and I guess kind of a sewing theme. So here is the first lot. I have 3 lots available. This will be lot 1. So each lot will get a bag of vintage buttons. There's all sorts of buttons in here. I have not gone through these. I have a huge container of buttons, so I just started scooping out and putting them in the bag. So you'll see there's just all sorts of different buttons. There's, I believe, some glass ones in there if I'm not mistaken, possibly mother of pearl. They're all different sizes. There's metal. So I have not cleaned these. I have not picked through. You can see there's some thread in there. So just know that they will possibly need to be cleaned once you receive them. So you'll get that bag. You'll get several vintage zippers in an assortment of colors. And with this particular bag, you will receive a mixture of supplies related to sewing and things like that. So this is a slim buckle and belt kit. I thought the packaging was really nice. I love the old vintage packaging, and I think you could probably, unless you're a collector of these type of items, you could probably just take the whole thing apart and use it in your craft projects. So I thought that was pretty cool. And a couple of Coats and Clark's buttons there on the card. Here's some vintage pens, and I saw some people, and I don't recall what video, but they did some embellishments in a sewing junk journal, and they included this in there, and I thought it turned out so cute. So I wanted to include that in one of the grab bags. Here's some seam binding, rayon seam binding in the color black, and what is this? Elastic, I guess. Still in the package. Then this is a little bit newer. It's from 2005, so it's almost vintage if you go by the 20-year rule. And it says it's in assorted hand needles and threaders. So it has a cute little image on there. I have these laying around, and I thought that would be cute just to add in their little eyeglasses. A vintage package of Velcro. These are newer. They're tags, and they kind of go with the theme, so I'm throwing those in. And then I had been collecting packaging off of seam binding and rickrack and bias tape because I thought they would make nice additions to junk journals. So if you are intending to use this for junk journals, you will have those in there. If not, you can toss them or pass them along or whatever you would like to do with them. So I'm also including, I got these, oh my gosh, okay, I didn't open this. It's pretty dirty on the inside, or I'm not sure what that is. So I might pull this out, but I will keep the envelope in there. It's they were cards from Michael's years back. They had a, I don't know if it was a clearance sale or the $2 grab bags, but these were so cute, and I bought a bunch of them, and I'm down to just a couple left. So I will include the envelope in this one because it is cute and it goes with the theme, but I think I'm going to take this one out. I did not realize it had something on the inside. I don't know what it is. So you will also get a vintage tape measure. And here are some imported sew-on rhinestones. I'm throwing in just a cute little charm. It's a sewing machine, and then this coat hanger paper clip. And then the last two items, here is a vintage bag. I thought the graphic on there was just really vibrant. And it's a lady with a sewing machine, and that's some fabric. So I thought that would go great in a junk journal. Then on the inside of the bag, we have, okay, this looks like an article for a scarf. The St. Louis Post. And just an assortment of different, I guess, pattern cutouts. I looked on these quickly to see if I could find a date on the newspaper. I think it might be from the late 70s or early 80s. Here it says Ice Capades starring Dorothy Hamill, and I believe she was in the late 70s, early 80s. Oh, and Stick, Spear, and Fuller, they closed, excuse me, in the 80s. So this is paper probably from the 1980s. So it looks like someone just made some patterns out of the newspaper. So I wanted to leave those in the bag. And then we have some additional, I guess, instructions. So that will go in the bag. And a few other things, a little bit of pattern paper, it looks like. Vintage pattern paper. And then the last item, excuse me, is McCall's step-by-step sewing book. And I don't recall, okay, 1968. So this book is from 1968. And it appears to be intact. And this, I love this kind of thing that goes through and shows you what the different types of fabric are. So that's the kind of thing I like to look at. And I could probably sit here and look through this, but I need to get moving here. So that will be lot number 1. All right, lot number 2. I tried to include kind of similar items in each grab bag. So each lot will get a bag of the vintage buttons. And you can see there's just an assortment. Again, I did not sort through these. You can see there's threading in this one. I did not clean them, so they will probably need to be cleaned, depending on what you decide to do with them. So here we have another one of the Michael's note cards. And let me just check this one. This one's fine. So I thought that was cute to add in. This package will also have an assortment of vintage zippers. Here is the magazine or sewing book, I guess I should say, that will come with this particular kit. And I believe this one, I found a date 1970. And I just loved looking through this. That is a 1970s, I guess, sewing room. So that was really neat to look through that. Let me just show you some of the pages. Oh, and you get Season's Greetings card here. So I'll put that right back in there. I can stay with the book. And then the last part of this Destash is a little bag full of different items. You'll get the buttons on the card. I guess this is elastic. Okay, so there are 2 seam bindings in this grab bag. Some more of the vintage pens. There is a buckle set in this kit as well. And I threw in, each bag will get some of the packaging from the seam binding and the bias tape. And I really liked the packaging on this item and thought it would look great in a junk journal. So I'm just including everything that was with it. This lot also has one of the needle and threader booklets. There's the inside. And this one is vintage, made in Japan. This package will also get the little pair of glasses. And then I had some, a few scraps, fabric scraps, I think that just came with a lot of something that I purchased. So I'm just throwing that in. There's room in the bag, so I'm just throwing that in. So that is going to be, oh, and then you'll get a hanger charm and also one of the paperclip coat hangers. So that's lot 2. And lot 3 okay, lot 3 will include a large piece of the vintage pattern paper. I thought that would be great in junk journals, and it really has some nice aging on it. You will also receive some of the note cards from Michaels, and I think I included 2 of the note cards in this one. And one envelope. The envelope is sealed, but what I do with that type of thing, I just cut off an edge and use it for a pocket. So if you want to do that, I'm including it. If that's not something that you want to do, of course you can just toss it or recycle it. Or you could probably even make some sort of tag out of it. So this lot will also get some of the vintage packaging for the seam binding and hem facing and rickrack. There's a button card. Here is some newer trim, and it has a sewing theme. So a few miscellaneous items here. Here's another button on the card. More buttons. This is some pure silk ribbon embroidery. And I don't know what these things are. So on a disc, snap on a Togs button. So, but I thought the packaging could be used, and I know people like to use this sort of thing in junk journals or crafting projects. So this lot also has a pair of the small eyeglasses and one of the sewing machine charms along with the coat hanger paper clip. I believe this came in a lot that I purchased, and it's just some scrap pieces of material. I guess it was to make one of these squares, so that is going in this lot. The bag of buttons. This one also has a vintage tape measure, and I believe this one is paper, if I'm not mistaken. It feels like paper. Here's some needles. This lot will also receive the hand needles and threader. This one I believe is 2005 as well. An assortment of the vintage buttons. And then this is the sewing book that will come in kit 3. And I believe, yep, this one came apart. I believe all the pages are there. It just fell apart. It is 1962 dated, and the pages have some really nice aging. So it is coming apart. So this would actually be perfect for a junk journal. So that is lot 3. Each lot will be $18 shipped. If you are interested, leave a comment below with your PayPal address along with which lot you were interested in. The first person to comment will receive the lot that they are requesting. If you have any questions, let me know, and thanks so much for watching.